No aquarium in the world has a great white shark. Difficult to capture. A lot of aquariums have tried to capture a great white shark, which failed big time. It has proven impossible because this is one of the hardest sharks to capture. Not only because it is large, but also because it is quite belligerent. The first attempt at taming a great white shark came just about 70 years ago, and to make things worse, it was a failure. The first great white shark to be held in captivity was just held for less than a day. So yes, capturing a great white shark isn't easy. Difficult to transport. Great white sharks are gigantic animals, and some of them reach up to 20 feet and can weigh up to 100 kilograms, which is a lot. Transporting an animal that is as large as a great white shark from one side of the ocean to another isn't the easiest thing in the world. For some aquariums, the trouble just isn't worth it, given that great whites are difficult to capture. The fact that aquariums have to go through so much hassle to transport them again just makes the whole venture unrealistic. Lack of resources. Another reason most aquariums don't keep great whites is that they lack resources. Aquariums require a lot of money and resources to keep a great white, as it's way too expensive to catch one, and many aquariums just don't see it as being worth it. According to scientists, to catch a great white shark, you'd have to provide a few things. The first thing you need to provide is a tank and an open water panel. This is because you can't just tag a great white shark, make it unconscious, put it on ice, load it in a plane, and then fly it over to wherever the aquarium is. To transport even a small great white shark, you'd have to have an open water pen that can hold at least 3.78 million liters of water with a depth of at least 10.6 meters. In addition to that, the aquarium has to keep the great white shark in an open water pen that can take 15 million liters of water before even transferring it to the aquarium's facilities. The whole setup would cost a lot of money and would just be unaffordable. Risking injury. Now, human beings have captured great white sharks before and have been able to get them to an open water pen. However, the problem is the sharks and the condition they're in when they're caught. Just capturing one could injure them in the process. These injuries are not usually bad, at least when the sharks first get them, but for some reason, after getting the sharks in captivity, the injuries get worse. Great white sharks are naturally nomadic animals. This means that they love to swim about, and as such are always escaping their tanks. This can lead to them aggressively hitting the tanks and hurting themselves. When these sharks get hurt enough times, they get weak and pass away. Sharks don't like cages. An aquarium has once successfully caught a great white shark, but the shark didn't live longer than 5 weeks. According to some theories, scientists have been able to conclude that great whites hate being in a tank or an aquarium or in any place where their freedom is restricted. Scientists have figured that this is because they get distressed when kept in glass tanks. Great white sharks that are kept in cages have been known to headbutt the glass barriers and even refuse to eat. To make things worse, these sharks get extremely hostile during their unhappy state, which leads to injuries and weakness. This leads to failing health and eventually leads to their demise. They are lethal to others and themselves. If a great white shark is kept with any other shark, the likelihood that the great white finishes it and eats it within a day or two is very high. The other marine animals that the great white may ambush are pretty expensive to get to, and it's not an easy task to get them. Most aquariums can't deal with sharks hurting each other in their facilities. To make things worse, great white sharks rarely allow even human beings to feed them. This sometimes leads to their demise because of starvation. One reason great whites don't enjoy being fed by humans is that they are hunters and need the thrill of the hunt to survive. Lack of food. A fully grown great white shark eats seals and sea mammals, and it eats them in copious amounts. They aren't just light snacks that they take to feel bouncy, these are their natural prey and they judiciously hunt for them. If an aquarium wants to have a great white shark around, they would have to throw in lots and lots of sea mammals into the shark's tank every day. And that is one thing that aquariums can't afford to do. This is because the favorite meal of great white sharks are sea otters and sea mammals, and both these animals are highly endangered species. Failing health. Even when great white sharks are captured and kept in cages, they usually suffer from failing health. This is because of a lot of different reasons, but there's an extremely important one. Great white sharks aren't like other marine animals. They aren't domiciled in one region, they are open water animals and cannot be confined. Tagged sharks have been known to swim hundreds of kilometers within a few days. It has been shown by scientists that the nature of great white sharks is incompatible with cages, and because of this their health often deteriorates after being caught. Unfavorable experience. Despite all these problems, some great white sharks have been captured and displayed in some aquariums. However, their experience with these animals shows everyone why great white sharks can't be on display. In 2016, an 11-foot-long great white shark was caught off the coast of Japan, and for a few short days, it was the only great white in an aquarium in the world. However, after a few days, the shark mysteriously passed away. There have been many attempts to get this species in captivity, but most have ended in their demise. It's inhumane. One of the most important reasons we don't capture great white sharks and keep them in aquariums is simply because it's inhumane. It's wicked to take these animals who do not want to be captives and keep them in a huge glass jar for our benefit. Staying in aquariums distresses them and limits the freedom that they crave so much. Capturing them and keeping them in cages ultimately leads to their end, and we've evolved past doing such inhumane things for fun.